What's up guys, it's Eric from Rare Candy and welcome back to round 2 of the recent standard format league challenge that I got to go attend at Cape Fear Games in Wilmington, North Carolina. So this is going to be round 2 of 4 that we're going to have upload on the channel. And so for this round on the left we have Jonquel Carter. He's going to be playing, it's kind of like a cool Umbreon GX walls type of deck, so stuff like Wobbuffet in there as well. And then over on the right we have Aiden Swanson, who's going to be playing Gardevoir GX, Zoroark GX. So actually too, I just want to give a quick shout out to Jonquel as well. Here's one of our patrons over on patreon.com/rarecandytcg. So a big shout out to him and the rest of our patrons for all of our support over there. If you guys want to learn how to support this channel and get some cool stuff in the process, I'll have a link below in the description if you want to check that out as well. So here for this matchup, I really don't know how this is going to go. Jonquel is kind of playing an interesting deck. I'm not really too familiar with the exact list, so I'm not sure if he has any spicy tricks up his sleeve to deal with, this Gardevoir deck. One thing he might have to watch out for is going to be Gallade. That could potentially be a big thorn in his side, assuming Aiden plays the Gallade in there, because Gallade can knock out Umbreon GXs in one hit, also can knock out some of the wall Pokemon like Hoopa and Wobbuffet and stuff like that as well. So I'll have to see how this is going to go. And I did not see what Jonquel is starting with, but if he does have an Eevee, he is going to be good to go here. So let's see. So a Sneasel and a Mewtwo. Interesting, okay. And he does have an Eevee, so I'm sure he's excited for that. So he can get down a Dark Energy on it and use that Energy Evolution ability to evolve into an Umbreon GX right away. So let's see here. Okay, so he is going to go for the Umbreon. Yeah, took him a second to go search it out. So Umbreon GX is kind of an interesting card. The main attack on it, I believe it's Shadow Bullet for a Darkened DCE, does 90 damage, and then 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So that could be good actually against a lot of these 60 HP basics that are in this Gardevoir, like Zoroark deck. He does also have access to Strafe. I think that's going to be a big attack for him for just a single Dark Energy. Does 30 damage, and then you get to switch Umbreon with one of your bench Pokemon. So he can use that attack and then pivot into like a wall like Wobbuffet or Hoopa or something like that as well. And it looks like he's putting kind of a thick Sneasel count here, so I'm assuming we're going to see the Weavile from Ultra Prism in this deck somewhere as well, if I just had to assume. So here it looks like Aiden's going to play an Ultra Ball, discarding a Zoroark. And let's see what else here. And it looks like a Field Blower. So probably going for that turn 1 Bridget play. So going for a Tapu Lele to grab Bridget. That way he can set up his board. And here I do see that Gallade in his deck that I was talking about. So like I said, I think that actually could be a pretty big card in this matchup. I forget everything that Jonquel has to work with, but just at first glance, I feel like Gallade could wreak havoc on a lot of the different Pokemon that he is running in his deck. But luckily he does have that Mewtwo on his bench that could be a half decent counter to Gallade as well. So here a pretty solid start from Aiden over there. He has a Fairy Energy he can attach somewhere as well. So I like that, sticking on the bench draws. And so here in hand, Jonquel doesn't have a whole lot going on. He does have the Skyla though, so he can grab himself a trainer card out of his deck. So maybe a supporter for next turn since he doesn't have access to one right now. That could be a good one. I'm not sure what else he runs currently, so we'll have to just take a peek and see. See a Reverse Valley? Okay, so it looks like that's actually what he's favoring here. So it's that Stadium card, that makes, Dark Pokemon do 10 more damage and reduces Metal Pokemon's damage by 10, or the damage that they take, I should say. So I'll have to see how that is going to go. So it just depends on which side he's going to put it. Because it's kind of like Perilous City in that sense, like each side has its own effect. But I'm sure he has it facing to where his Pokemon are doing more damage here. So let's see where he's going to get down this energy. It looks like he's going to attach to the Sneasel so he can retreat, and then he can do Strafe, but it's only going to do 10 damage because of that resistance from Ralts. But here he's just opting to pass this time. Kind of seeing, maybe the Strafe isn't worth it here. But here it looks like Aiden's going to refresh his hand. I guess he played a Sycamore. I did not see. I see an N hit the discard pile, so I'm just assuming a Sycamore did. Otherwise, he would have to shuffle in and draw a new hand. So he's going to get down a Choice Band. Oh, okay, so he must have traded with the Zoroark. That would make sense. And now he can play the Cynthia, refreshing his hand to a fresh hand of 6 here. Okay, so hopefully he can start getting out some of his evolutions. Oh, and I do see an N in Jonquil's hand, so that's good. He will have a supporter ready to go on the next turn. So let's see, he's going to get out another Zoroark GX, so he's going to be able to start drawing through his deck a little bit better now. So he's going to use Trade, that ability on Zoroark GX, to discard a Choice Band to draw 2 cards. Let's see, we see an Ultra Ball in his hand. I don't think I see a rare candy or any way to get one of his evolutions, or like one of his Gardevoir evolutions in play. So here it looks like he's just going to have to pass. And he's going to top deck a Nest Ball. That could be good. So he's going to play the Nest Ball. Let's see what he's going to opt to get in play. I would imagine we're going to start seeing one of those wall Pokemon. So, okay, it looks like he is going to go for the Wobbuffet here. Definitely a good choice. It has that Bide, I believe it's Bide Barricade is the name of the ability. But as long as it's your active Pokemon, it shuts off abilities for non-psychic type Pokemon, which is super good against Aiden's deck because outside of Tapu Lele, everything in the deck has an ability. You know, Gardevoir's Secret Spring, Gallade Premonition, Zoroark GX's Trade. So definitely a good Pokemon to try to, retreat into. And so here it looks like he's just going to play the N, refreshing both of their hands. So we'll have to see if we see any Weaviles hit the board as well. That could be also pretty big. I'm not sure which one he is playing, but like I said, I'm assuming it's going to be the one from Ultra Prism. There is another one in format as well. I believe it's back from Burning Shadows, but I feel like the Ultra Prism one would probably be a little bit stronger in this particular matchup here. Okay, so we see another Eevee in his hand, so he can get that down. I think that's fine. So he has a couple options. He could attach the Dark Energy to the Umbreon, start powering up for a Shadow Bullet, or he's kind of saying, you know what, I'm gonna do Strafe anyway, so I'm just gonna get the energy down on the other Umbreon, or on the other Eevee, and get out a second Umbreon in this case instead. So no double colorless energies. That is definitely a card he's gonna want to see at some point here. To use Shadow Ball, but here he's just going to use Strafe. It's going to do, I believe it's 20 damage once you factor in the Reverse Valley, and he's going to pivot into that Wobbuffet, which probably be a little bit annoying for Aiden, but he does have a Guzma actually ready to go to get out of that Wobbuffet lock. So here he's going to play the Guzma. Let's see what he's going to opt to go for. He's going to go for the Sneasel. I think that's actually kind of a good play if it is the Ultra Prism Sneasel. That actually could be a pretty good attacker against his deck, so taking that thing out, if he is able to, is going to be pretty good. So here he's going to trade, it looks like, drawing another 2 cards. Still no double colorless energies yet, and he's gone through a decent amount of cards. He's going to trade yet again, and he finally hits the double colorless energy he needs to start attacking and putting on some pressure here. So he has that Rhys being attacked. It's 20 for every Pokemon that he has in play. So Sneasel only has 70 hit points, so he is definitely going to take a knockout there. And actually I see Jonquil has, it looks like a counter catcher in his hand that he can potentially make use of as well. So he's going to get down a Dark Energy on the Sneasel. Opting not to play the counter catcher, I think that's, maybe okay. Or maybe he could have counter catchered up the Ralts with the energy, and then like in the case here, he does now have a Weavile in hand, so he could have taken a prize that way. But this is also kind of decent as well. He can soften up the Zoroark GX. He's going to do 150 damage, since Weavile's attack is 50 for every Pokemon with energy. I'm sorry, with an ability that their opponent has in play. So this Weavile, it's probably going to go down on Aiden's next turn, but nevertheless, he is going to be able to soften up the Zoroark GX pretty well with it. And here he's going to play a Nest Ball, grabbing another Wobbuffet. And so he does have an EXP share. That's also could be good here, since this Weavile is probably going to be knocked out. So here we're just going to see that, I believe it's Evil Admonition, I think is the name of the attack. It's going to do 150 damage to the Zoroark. And so let's see how Aiden is going to respond. He's going to play a Mallow here. So that's that supporter back from Guardians Rising. It lets you search your deck for any 2 cards, shuffle your deck, and put them on top of your deck. So we'll have to see what he's going to eye down. Looks like I saw a rare candy was at the front of his deck, but I did not see if that's actually what he grabbed. So we'll have to wait and see here. If he does grab a Puzzle of Time or double puzzle, he can actually retreat this Zoroark and grab the DCE out of his discard pile with Puzzle of Time. That way he can attach it to a fresh Zoroark. I think that's a potential option for him. Oh, but here he has the Max Potion. It's actually pretty good as well. So that's going to heal off all that damage. Here he's going to trade, getting those 2 cards he had put on top of his deck. And so now he's starting to really pick up some steam here. He has a Puzzle of Time, or a double Puzzle of Time, so he can actually get that double colorless energy yet again. That seems good. Also, a Max Potion could be good as well. I'm not sure what all he has in his hand. But looks like he might be eyeing down the rare candy as well. I think that's okay. So it looks like he's going to play Rescue Stretcher, so he's going to be able to get out his second Gardevoir GX here, and now he can use multiple Secret Springs in a turn. It's that ability that Gardevoir has, lets you attach a Fairy Energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So here he's going to take out this Weavile, and now it's kind of safe to get a ton of Pokemon with abilities in play, since there's not another Sneasel on the board to threaten another Evil Admonition this turn. So the max potion on that last turn was actually pretty big here, and so Jonquil, he is going to get a double Colorless Energy down onto this Umbreon that he has. And here, I think it's a little bit odd that he chose to attach to this Umbreon, because I think the other Umbreon has a Dark Energy on it as well. And with the Choice Band, he would have been able to use Shadow Bullet for 120, which would have two-shot this Zoroark. So I think that might be a slight little misplay on his part. But we'll see what's going to happen here. It looks like Aiden is starting to power up a Gardevoir GX, you know, to potentially start taking a bunch of big one-hit knockouts with that Infinite Force attack. That's that attack on Gardevoir GX. First, a single Fairy Energy does 30 times the amount of energy on both active Pokemon. So that includes double Colorless Energies, not just Fairy Energies. So he is going to start threatening, doing some big damage here. So right now he is hitting for 180. If he has a Choice Band, he is going to take a knockout. Okay, so he does have the Choice Band. That's going to allow him to hit for 210. Taking out this Umbreon. So Jonquil, unfortunately, not having the best setup here. So he does have this Umbreon he can promote with the Choice Band, and he draws another Dark Energy. So at the very least, he can maybe attach that to Umbreon, or he could actually attach to Mewtwo. I kind of like that play as well. And here he can just use Strafe to do, was that 60 or actually 70 damage? We can't forget about that Reverse Valley. Okay, so they have not yet caught that, but Strafe actually should have done 70 damage because of the Reverse Valley. We'll have to see if that makes a difference here, but it looks like Aiden's going to play that Guzma here, bringing back up that Umbreon, and can he take a knockout this turn? So here he's going to trade. Going to trade again. Not much in the way of additional energy. So here he can just attach the double Colorless Energy, and he can do, was that 120 right now? So he can two-shot this Umbreon. Most likely it's going to use Strafe next turn, but we'll have to see how Jonquil is going to respond here. So here he's going to play a Lily. So actually it could be good. He got himself a Counter Catcher. So he could bring up potentially a different Pokemon and put on some additional pressure. So we'll have to see what he's going to do. It looks like he's going for the Mewtwo, starting to power that up a little bit. So here it looks like he is going to play the Counter Catcher, bringing up Gardevoir, and here he's going to strafe into Mewtwo. Not sure how much I like that, because basically Mewtwo is going to go down now. I feel like Wobbuffet would have been a safer Pokemon to promote, would have shut off Aiden's abilities here. But here he's going to get down a Gallade, and that is actually going to be kind of a tough Pokemon for, I think, Jonquil to overcome here. That Sensitive Blade attack is just so good against these different Pokemon that he has in play. So Gallade also has an ability, Premonition, lets you rearrange the top 5 cards of your deck, put them back in any order. So here it looks like he's just going to just do Infinite Force, taking a knockout, and it looks like Jonquil is going to promote the Wobbuffet. I think maybe promoting Umbreon would have been a little bit better, because then you could have, at the very least, done another 70 damage. So we'll have to see what he's going to get here that he can respond with. Maybe he plays Float Stone in the deck. If he does, that could allow him to get down, or get that Wobbuffet out of the active spot. So here it looks like he's also going to play a Rescue Stretcher. So it looks like he's eyeing down getting that Mewtwo, the Umbreon, and maybe if he can set up Weavile, that could also be good. But so yeah, those seem like okay targets for him to put back into his deck. But he just really needs to start taking some prizes. He has a lot of damage on the board, but he just really needs to start taking prizes to get caught back up here. Here he has an Enhanced Hammer as well, so he can discard that double Colorless Energy that's on the Gardevoir GX. Okay, and here he's going to get another Umbreon GX into play as well. Oh, and actually they did not catch this, but actually Jonquil should not be allowed to evolve under the Wobbuffet, because it does turn off the abilities for all psychic Pokemon. So that, yeah, I think that's actually a little bit of a misstep. So he actually could not have used the energy evolution that was on Eevee. So here it looks like Aiden's just opting to use a Twilight GX this turn. It's that GX move on Gardevoir. Just for a single failure energy, you get 10 cards from your discard pile and shuffle them back into your deck. So I saw some max potions, some double colors energies, I saw Mallow, choice band, so all sorts of good stuff getting put back in there. And right now Jugpile has this Wobbuffet stuck in the active spot. He is going to play Cynthia, and he really needs to get a Float Stone or, you know, some way to retreat this Wobbuffet, and you know, that way he can start attacking with his Umbreons again. Because like I said, he has a good bit of damage on the field. He just needs to, you know, start cashing in on some of that damage and cleaning up these knockouts. But here we see some more energy, another Umbreon line. So nothing too much. You can at least get some more energy attachments down on the field to, you know, anticipate, you know, bringing out Umbreon at some point. But here it looks like he just has to pass yet again. We see a Super Boost Energy. Ooh, that's actually pretty big here because Super Boost Energy, it's one of those new Prism Stars. If he has 3 Stage 2s in play, it provides 4 energy of any kind. So that will enable him to be able to take a knockout on the Wobbuffet here and, you know, take the second round of the tournament here. So Aiden Swanson is going to be 2-0 going into the next round, I believe. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed round 2 here. We have 2 more rounds coming up, and if you guys have not seen round 1, I also will have a link below in the description if you want to check that one out as well. But as usual, guys, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you can support this channel by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. Big shout out to John Quell and everyone else over there that's supporting the channel right now, or by picking up something from our online store at rarecandytcg.com. It'd be greatly appreciated. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you for the next one.